This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform to help you stand out and succeed online, but more on them later. I have this weird soft spot for TAG Heuer. I always have, growing up in the 90s and 2000s and not knowing a lot about watches. TAG Heuer was one of the few watch brands that I could name, and to me it was synonymous with accomplishment. Maybe a watch someone would buy for an important milestone, but it was certainly something that said, I made it. Fast forward to 2018, as I was getting deeper into watches, I was surprised to find out that TAG wasn't well regarded within enthusiast circles, and it was a brand in decline. Now, if you followed my channel for a while, you will know I've made this same video back in 2022. But looking back on it, and as I look at it now, I'm not the most proud of that video, and there's a lot I would change about it. So, this is what we're going to do today. This is a topic I think about an unreasonable amount, and I have more to say. Let's talk about the TAG Heuer problem. Just saying the name TAG Heuer really splits watch enthusiasts. Some people love them, some people really dislike them. I am a self-proclaimed apologist of TAG Heuer. I think they have something really special, and they have something that not a lot of brands have, and that's name power recognition. If you asked one of your non-watch collecting friends to name as many watch brands as I can, I guarantee you TAG Heuer will come up in that list. It might even come before Omega. I truly believe they have the potential to be one of the highest selling brands in Switzerland, even second to Rolex, if they play their cards right. So I'd identify TAG Heuer as having three major problems. 1, the expanding competition at the price point. 2, loss of identity. And 3, LVMH oversight. But that last one is a bit nuanced, and it does play as an advantage sometimes as well. So let's start with problem 1. The TAG Heuer price point is in one of the most competitive segments, between $4,000 USD and $6,000 on average, with there being a few outliers. But the big problem is, there are a lot of options at this price, and you really need to stand out. We've got Breitling, IWC, Omega, and even Rolex entry-level pieces like the Oyster Perpetual, all being in that same bracket. Once again, I am saying this as a person who loves TAG Heuer, but when it came time to put my money where my mouth is and buy a luxury entry-level go anywhere, do anything piece, I bought the Rolex Oyster Perpetual. The other big problem that is developing for these mid-tier players is the rise of Tudor. Tudor watches are unreasonably good for the price. With all the resources of the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, they are selling META certified watches for about the same price as a TAG. On top of the mainstream behemoths, we are also seeing a lot of stability and variety in indies and micro brands like Nomos, Monta, Baltic, and Oris. The landscape is increasingly becoming more crowded. People's wallets are tighter than they were. At least here in the UK, a lot of my friends aren't splashing out and making big purchases. You need to be giving people a reason to choose you. I should say, in recent years, TAG has been showing some real value and investment into their catalog with models like the Carrera Chronograph Skipper and, controversially, the Formula 1, but we will talk about that later. I think they are returning to their roots and kinda maybe leaving behind their investment into connected watches. I hate mechanical watch brands trying to do connected or smart watches. Let the tech people do the tech watches, let the watchmakers create the proper mechanical watches, and let Squarespace help you make the best and most beautiful website that you couldn't create on your own. Aw yeah, Squarespace is sponsoring this video, baby. But don't skip ahead. They are awesome and you need to hear about them. Squarespace is the place for making websites. They have literally hundreds of professionally curated templates for you to go through, select which one speaks to you and your business, and bam, plug in your details and make it yours. It is 2025, we all have an online presence, and a website will help you boost whatever it is you are doing. Whether it's a watch blog or publication, podcast, maybe you own a brick and mortar shop, a website is where people find you, and you want yours to be an accurate reflection of you. Squarespace has built-in SEO tools, search engine optimization tools, to help your customers, new and old, find you easier. And on top of that, they are a one-stop shop. Whether you offer services, sell products, or both, they provide your customers easy online payments and built-in tools for inventory, shipping, and fulfillment for a seamless shopping experience. As you guys know, I love Squarespace. I use Squarespace. They are absolutely crucial to what I do here on this channel, so it is a pleasure to be partnering alongside them. If this sounds like something you need in your life, head to squarespace.com/BritPierce for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use my code, the BritPierce code, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's an awesome deal, and thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Moving on, problem 2, and this is something I was really worried about when I made my first TAG Heuer problems video. It was the height of them really investing into smartwatches and connected watches, collaborations with Mario, and making Bowser tourbillons. You know when a middle-aged person tries to use teenager slang and it all feels amiss? That is what TAG Heuer was feeling like. They lost touch with their DNA, their heritage, the things that made them so distinctly themselves. As most of you know watching this channel, TAG Heuer hasn't always been TAG Heuer. They have an incredibly strong heritage and have been through about 3 or 4 distinct and different seasons. The Heuer brand was founded in 1860 by a 20-year-old Edward Heuer, the son of a shoemaker on his family's farm in Switzerland. Heuer began making silver pocket watches and quickly became known for chronographs and innovating. In 1869, Heuer filed their first patent, a crown-operated keyless winding system. In 1882, his first chronograph. And in 1887, the oscillating pinion, which is still used in mechanical chronographs to this day. Season 2 was the mid-century, 1930s to 1950s, and this was the golden era of Heuer, releasing icons like the Ottavia, Monaco, and Carrera. I think it's important to understand just how outstanding Heuer watchmaking really was. Heuer Company's most crucial patents include things like the oscillating pinion, the micrograph, the first stopwatch accurate to 1/100th of a second, and, debatably, the first self-winding chronograph. Season 3, the quartz crisis. Like many Swiss watch manufacturers, they were hit hard by the quartz crisis and the change in the landscape. In 1985, Heuer was purchased by TAG, or Technique d'Avant-Garde Group, and the watch brand became TAG Heuer. This began a whole new era for the brand, dabbling into quartz, releasing models like the watch I'm wearing right now, the Formula 1. And, debatably, this is when they began to lose their way and kinda start to cheapen the brand. Then, Season 4, the 1999 LVMH acquisition, which was guided by legends in the watch world such as Jean-Claude Biver. But the brand was still finding itself. And this is the season I would say we're still in, even 25 years later. It's been a time of experimenting and TAG finding itself. But I think we're slowly closing this chapter. I think we're slowly exiting this season, and we're about to begin a new one. When I went to Watches and Wonders this year, I was genuinely astounded by the TAG Heuer booth. It might have been my favorite at the PAL Expo. TAG was leaning extremely hard into motor racing, celebrating their return to being the official timekeepers of Formula 1, and there was a cohesive story being told through all of the watches released this year. In the same way that Omega is synonymous with James Bond and the Olympics, Rolex and Wimbledon, TAG Heuer is motor racing and cars. To me, it seems like they were beginning to understand that this is a heritage brand. This is a brand ingrained into motor racing history with Technique d'Avant-Garde, literally having models called the Formula 1 and the Monaco. We aren't connected watches or Mario. We are something so much richer and storied. Let's tell that story. So, although I think TAG lost their identity for a long, long time, they're finding it again. Okay, this next section really reveals my cards and a lot of the things I've been thinking about a lot, and quite big videos I've been working on, including the fall of the luxury industry and using LVMH as a lens to view that through. But on a far more zoomed in level, looking at TAG Heuer, I think conglomerates hurt brands in specific ways and benefit in massive ways as well. The fact of the matter is, if it wasn't for LVMH stepping in, we wouldn't be talking about TAG Heuer at all right now, other than as a neo-vintage brand with some cool models. Conglomerates like LVMH, Swatch, Richemont have saved storied legacy brands from the brink of collapse, but it does come with a trade-off. A little bit of heart and soul is exchanged for profit prioritization and growth at all costs. Conglomerates buy these storied names, not out of the goodness of their own hearts or because they want to preserve a bit of history, but because they can buy these big names at a discount because these are failing brands and use their legacy and good name to sell consumers things. Whether it is an $800 Louis Vuitton t-shirt or $400 plastic Gucci sliders or a $22,000 A Longa Unzona Saxonia. Now, I am not saying Patek Philippe and Rolex aren't profit driven because they are independent. They absolutely are. But I think there is a certain heart and soul that is lost. There's a certain amount of creative control and willingness to try new, creative, different, weird, risky things when a brand falls under a subsidiary or falls into being a subsidiary. Before we finish, I am worried that this sounded like a whinge fest and like a hit piece against TAG Heuer, which it isn't. That is not what this video is intended to be. I freaking love TAG Heuer. This video is really out of love for a brand and wanting to see them flourish. I feel like they have so much potential. They have this massive brand power recognition, and if they play their cards right, they could be the second highest selling Swiss watch brand. Why am I stumbling over my words so much? I think they're returning to the right path. I hope they stay on course. I am forever rooting for TAG. Anyways, guys, that's the TAG Heuer problem if you ask me. I'd love to pass the question off to you. What is the TAG Heuer problem? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you once again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Go click that link. They're amazing. And you know who else is amazing? The Pope tier patrons. Their names are on the screen.